Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to be starting our next art project, which is making a print using linoleum. So this is the finished example. To make this, there's actually 4 printed pieces of paper and they're combined to make this diamond shape. So the way we're going to do this is each person will get 1 linoleum printing block. Linoleum is a soft rubber and it's easy to carve into to make your own stamp. In the next class, we'll print on small squares of paper. Then later, we'll combine the squares to make a finished collage. So today, we're going to start by designing what you want your linoleum tile to look like. So when you're starting, I think it's a good idea to first start with a sketch in your sketchbook. To make it easy and to make it so that you're doing a sketch that's the same exact size as the linoleum square, I've made these little stencils, and you can just trace the stencil and do a really quick, fast sketch of what you want your tile to look like. I wouldn't spend more than like 5 or 10 minutes doing your sketch. Once you finish your sketch, you can come get your linoleum tile. The first step is same as always, write your name on the back of the tile. This one has no name. Then, using a pencil, you could start to draw your design ideas. The thing with the linoleum is that you can erase a little bit with the linoleum with a normal eraser, but it's hard to erase all the pencil lines. So if you make a mistake and the linoleum block is starting to get really messy, don't worry about it. Because when we're doing the painting part, you won't see the linoleum tile, you'll only see the print that it's making. So now I'm ready to start carving into my stamp to make a relief. A relief is when an image or an object has some parts of it that are raised and some parts of it are lowered. Of course, the raised parts are where there will be paint. So I'm going to start by outlining with my tool. If you look closely at the tool, it's kind of like a V-shaped knife, and if I look closely, there's one part that's sharper, one side that's sharper. So this is the sharp side I want to use for cutting. So I'm going to really carefully start cutting on my lines. And you can see in some parts of my design, I've gone ahead and I've shaded them. That means this part, this circle, I want to cut all of it out. I want to make it so it's really going down because I only want this little leaf in the middle to show. So I'm going to carve out all of the part here. Again, this is making a relief, so some of my image is raised and some of it's lowered. When I'm carving, you can see how if you look closely, it's kind of getting bumpy and jagged. That's not a problem because when my ink is printing, again, I'll only see the raised parts. So this part really doesn't matter. The thing with using the linoleum cutter is it's better to go slow and careful and try not to make mistakes. Of course, if you make a mistake, you'll just have to be flexible and find a way to correct it as you go because you can't take back what you've done. So that's why it's really important to have a great sketch or a great drawing on your linoleum before you get started. So carving out areas will take a longer time, but you don't have to do that for all of your design. So in my design, I only want some areas carved out. This design is really complicated. It has lots of areas that are carved out. So anywhere that the black paper is showing underneath, it means that this area was all carved out, so the paper underneath shows. In some parts, there's just a line showing. When on your work, you can also only just do a simple straight line, and this will also print really nicely. So as you're using the linoleum cutter, you will notice you get all these little linoleum bits. If your area is getting really messy, if they're starting to get everywhere, I'll put some of these on each table so you can just put the little white bowl on the edge of the table and brush all the carvings into the bowl to easily clean. My goal is by the end of this art class, everyone will have finished carving their linoleum block. So by the next art class, we're ready for printing. Have fun!